I'm sorry, that cut off. So then when that drain did that, I pulled it out. I knew that that's what the doctor was going to tell me to do. So I snipped the one stitch that holds it in. And, you know, I thought about doing a little video on how to take out the drain, but it was a little too graphic, and those drains are in areas where you couldn't hide your private areas, so I was like, no, I won't be doing a drain on, or a video on drain removal. But it's pretty much just clipping the stitch, applying pressure with an alcohol, you know, swab to the area, and then pulling in the direction that your doctor told you to pull it out. I had two that were in my stomach. Those ones I were to pull down. And then I had two that came in from my sides, from my back. Those ones I had to pull out this way. So there was a way to pull them out due to the direction that they were in my body. But yeah, the last drain just came out. So drain 2, 3, and 4, those were judged by how much fluid came out and the color of the fluid. As soon as the fluid was a clearish orangey color, and there was less than 0.25 millimeter, whatever that thing was, on my bulb or my drainage thing, it was labeled 0.25, 0.5, 1, 1.25. So when it was 0.25 for a whole day, 24 hours, that's when it was ready to come out. So 2, 3, and 4 came out after, you know, I saw it was clear and orange and it was draining less than 0.25 for a full 24 hours. I would email him a pic of my drain and the color of the fluid, and he would say, you know, yes, pull it out, or no, give it another day, or, you know, he would totally let me know what to do. So that is my take on drains and swelling. But, you know, the drains are going to go through different stages of redness. At first it's really light pinky, then it gets really dark, then it starts to lighten up, and then, you know, it'll get a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter, and then it gets like an orangey color. It's really weird. So it's going to change colors. Don't be alarmed. If you're still having like major clotting issues after the 7-day point, I would probably say something to the doctor. Mine stopped at about the week point where I had a lot of clots and yucky stuff. Now I did notice towards the end of the drains, there was a lot of like fat deposits in the drain. It looked like just fat, you know, gross fat, but not blood clots, but fat. So, okay, there's my little discussion on drains and swelling. I hope it helped somebody. I know I wish I would have had videos on these two subjects for my own self, because I not only like to hear it from the doctor, I like to hear other people's experiences with Swell Hell is what they call it, and there is a lot of information on that online. I wish I would have known that I could have went through that. I'm a person where if I'm better prepared for worst case scenario, I handle it better. I was not at all prepared for the swelling I went through, so I totally flipped out. So I like to prepare for worst case scenario. I thought my worst case scenario, my biggest fear was going to be infections, hematomas, or seromas, where my incision would, you know, open and then infection, or I would have to have a wound vac system, or I would have to have, you know, seromas drained out, which I'm not clear of all those things yet. You know, it'll be a month here Thursday. Some of those things could still happen, but those are the things I was like, I have to be super careful so I don't have these 3 things. Not, oh my gosh, prepare yourself that you could be pretty much incapacitated by swelling. So, you know, not trying to scare anybody or not want to do the procedure, because in the end it'll all be worth it, but just so that, I don't know, I like to prepare for worst case scenario, and I was not prepared for the swelling at all. So there's my little take on that. If you guys keep sending questions to my inbox via YouTube, I will try to at least once a week go through and make a little response on the things that I went through. The stuff that I went through you might not go through, or yours may be totally different. This is just how my journey has progressed with plastics. So, and I will say this for any of you thinking Mexico, I would email them, I don't care what time. I think, you know, maybe 11 o'clock my time was like the cutoff point that I would not hear a response to the next day. They were immediately on it. And if it was to where they knew I was that stressed, either the main, like, his assistant would call me, or, you know what I'm saying, they're on it. This company was on it. Or, you know, I call it a company, but it's a group, it's a surgical group that, you know, you go through for Mexico for this, you know, procedure. And, you know, the doctor would get on and he would email me, and I could tell when it was the doctor emailing me and when it was the two girls that work for him, who are Violet and MJ. Like, I could tell who was emailing me because of just the way they would talk would be different. So, and of course it would be labeled Dr. Suarez or whatever, but they were so great about trying to calm me down when I was really upset at times on what was going on. And that to me is a great factor of choosing plastics in Mexico. You know, this isn't like with lap band where I had an aftercare doctor ready to go at my disposal here. I mean, my doctors were aware I was doing this, but I wasn't going to be calling my family doctor every 10 minutes with this stuff. He's not a plastic surgeon. You know, I would go to him if there was something like an infection or something like that that I needed him to look at, but I couldn't be calling up, you know, my local doctor with all these issues. So that's my little take. Sorry, this is probably an extremely long video, but I wanted to get it out there so that people would know the things I went through. You guys have a great day. Love ya. Bye.